Welcome back to the show, Alan.
Hello.
Alan, welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Today, in honor of the 25th anniversary of Gorillaz' first release, Tomorrow Comes Today, we are doing a Gorillaz album tier list video.
We have lots of Gorillaz cred, as you could tell from our backdrop, and I'm excited to talk about the Gorillaz.
So in terms of how we're ranking them all your standard S through F tier. To spice things up, I said that we had to put at least one in F and at least one in S.
Yeah.
There can be more in either.
Mm-hmm.
And our criteria are on the quality of the songs and the album experience.
Yeah.
If an album has a couple great songs and the middle is all filler, that is gonna hurt it a lot.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's your 3 favorite songs, the middle is filler, it's going low.
Yep, I agree.
Bonus tracks will maybe be discussed, but they're not being taken into account because they are such a mixed bag.
Yes, and they could completely change, you know.
Some of them will bring an album up, and some of them would drop it
Yeah.
2 tiers easily.
Yeah.
No squeal and remember that it's all in your head. Hey, happy. I'm feeling glad I got
All right, so obviously the first is the self-titled Gorillaz in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So 3, 2, 1,
Hey.
C.
C. Oh my God.
I've got hot
C?
takes.
Okay, I guess I didn't know why it's so low. Because for me, it's
Okay, so I put it very low as I feel like there are some incredible highs on this album.
Yeah.
I don't even think I have to mention them, but
Yeah.
I think for most people, this is peak Gorillaz in a lot of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the other songs are very forgettable and
Okay.
don't go as far in any of the directions as I like to see in
Yeah.
their work.
I think I like it because it's so. I mean, this is like when Gorillaz. It was just kind of an idea for them. Like, it's very like trip hoppy, like 90. It almost feels like it was like should have been more of a 90s record.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, obviously like the big ones like Clint Eastwood, Rock the House and stuff. But like 2000. And what's funny is those ones are like not even like the rest of the album. Like most of it is like kind of just like cool trip hop, like, you know, instrumental track. I guess for me, I'm really into that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I grew up loving this album. So, I guess I can understand where you're coming from.
I will, and this is for both for you and for people. I'm ranking these albums in relation to each other.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Not in their, not in comparison to all of music.
Yeah.
If I was ranking it as an album, just on its own, it would probably be higher.
Fair.
I don't think it delves as deep conceptually as other albums that came after.
Mm-hmm.
If we go back and we rank it kind of in a void, like what it sets up for, and we give it historical cred, I'd probably put it up a little bit higher as a B. But kind of the more instrumental hip hop tracks, for me, I like them.
Yeah.
But they're not they become forgettable for me after a while.
I think there must be something about the album for me. I guess it just like hit like gravity, like when that beat drops and stuff like that. Those are things I think of. And then what's funny is like one of my favorite ones is Punk. Punk is awesome. Like,
and it's a minute 40.
Yeah.
Certain punk songs should be.
Yeah. It's so good. He's just like he randomly just thought to himself, let's just add the most obnoxious track in the middle of this record, and it's awesome.
He's like, I have to put a blur track on this.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it does not really match the rest of the album, I don't think. I mean, M1A1 kinda.
And I don't think you get that interesting mix that you do with some later Gorillaz where it's like, where you have to really try to be like, what genre is this song?
Sure, yeah.
So a lot of those tracks for me they're good, they're listenable, but they're less interesting.
I'll never forget, I went to see Damon Albarn at Bonnaroo in 2014. And if he just called himself the Gorillaz, he would have been a headliner.
Yeah.
But he called himself Damon Albarn. And I remember the crowd being pretty small. and he was playing Gorillaz tracks. Like I said, I don't think he realized how big the Gorillaz would become. Like they've taken on a life of their own kind of thing, you know. And when he was making this album, I think he was just like, oh, this is just like a fun hip hop thing I'm trying out, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I get the whole, like, the idea is like that he was playing with at the time was like pop is going to become so pop it eats itself kind of thing, and I think he gets into that more in better ways later.
Yeah. I feel like they were having fun with it though. Like you could tell, like they were like, oh, this will just be like a fun.
No.
This will be like a fun album for me. And then I'm telling you, I don't think he ever thought he'd touch them again, and it just became huge. So I can understand where you're coming from. Like, yeah, it maybe didn't seem so cohesive.
I think it's a good album.
It is a good album. Yeah, I mean, I love it.
Even a jerk. Like, this is where C is good.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like where you get below C, it's like, okay, we have a problem. Real quick, my last note on that is that it probably has the heaviest use of melodica of any of the albums.
Yeah.
So I want to put it higher.
Yeah.
Specifically for melodica features.
Yeah. He still uses that when he performs those live too. It's kind of awesome.
Look, I love a good melodica solo. The G side. 3, 2, 1.
C.
F.
F? Oh, that's your F? Okay. I don't blame you.
I feel bad about putting it F because it
Yeah.
feels like cheating because it's a compilation.
Yeah.
But it
I don't blame you.
exist.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's funny. I was re-listening to that one just the other day. Like, most of them are just remixes.
Yeah.
My favorite track is probably the 2000, the Soul Child one.
Child remix.
That one's awesome.
Soul Child remix of 2000 is the version that I hear in my head without realizing it most of the time.
Yeah.
Because my ADD brain is like, yes, the speed.
Yeah.
The up-tempo version it's just better for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a better song, but it's better for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'd put that.
No, I get to. I do like the Phi Life Cypher version of Clint Eastwood, and that's the version they do. They used to do that one live a lot. So from my understanding, that was the original, and then Del was able to hop on the record. I mean, do you know how like Gorillaz started? Was because so Dan the Automator was the original producer for the self-titled. Him and Del the Funky Homo Sapien had an album called Deltron 2020.
Yes.
And Damon Albarn's on that album. So somehow, and somehow they like stayed together and they made the Gorillaz. Like it's so weird how it all kind of panned out. But yeah, like I do think this has interesting stuff. To go back to the G side, I do see what you're saying, where it's like it doesn't need to exist. It's cool. There's cool stuff on there, you know.
It's most of it is so much of his demo version
Yeah.
of songs, and it's cool that you're putting this out there, but to bundle it up and be like, this is an album.
Yeah.
I mean, I just can't rank that like it's an album up with these other ones.
Yeah. No, I do agree with that. I see what you're saying.
I feel like it's cheating, honestly. Like I feel like everyone's gonna be like, oh, you pick the compilation album to put at the bottom. Like,
I get where you're coming from though. Like, and I mean, it's hard for me. Even a Steve probably feels a little high for me. But the thing is, like, I do like the tracks. But do I ever go back and listen to this? Probably not. Like, I'll listen to the 2000 remix, and that's about it.
Like, other than that, though, I don't think there's any of the remix versions on there I'd put above the original.
No, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. So for the most part, it's like, okay, these are worse versions of the Gorillaz, self-titled songs, and then demos that never went anywhere.
Yeah.
Ghost Train's really cool.
Yes.
But it's unfinished. And like you didn't finish it, and I can't give it higher for potential because it's not like it's just not there.
It is interesting because Ghost Train is one I feel like Gorillaz fans are like, oh, that's a hidden gem, and they hype it up a little bit. I just probably gonna ruin my street cred with Gorillaz fans.
Yeah.
But they hype it up a little bit more than it deserves, in my opinion, because he's got cooler deep cut, Yeah.
Also, we're not getting crazy into the deep cuts. We're not talking like Balloon Race.
No. No. Anyone, I hate to say, I'm just going to put this out there. Anyone who says they unironically like that song is lying to themselves. They're just trying to be like, yeah, I love the Gorillaz that much that I love Balloon
Race.
Yeah.
Laughing gas, these hazmats, fast cats, lining them up like ass crack.
Demon
Ladies,
Days.
homies at the track.
All right.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
S. Yeah. I mean, this is the obvious S, I think.
It's such a cop-out answer, but it has to be.
Yeah.
It's just such an incredible album, start to finish.
Yeah.
It is the most narratively cohesive. It is the most. It's all over the board sound-wise, but somehow it feels cohesive sound-wise. Any track that I wouldn't want to listen to on its own, I don't skip when I listen to the album. Some of the most iconic songs are on here.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Well, what's funny is like, I love just some of these like the deeper cuts on this. Like,
Oh yeah.
like All Alone has been one of my favorite Gorillaz songs like since I got this album, and I feel like if I tell people that, like, if you don't know the Gorillaz, and I was like, yeah, I love All Alone, they'd be like, what the hell is that? Like that one, like I don't know, like and also the last 3 tracks in particular, Fire Coming Out of the Monkey's Head, Don't Get Lost in Heaven, and the title track Demon Days. It is like one of my favorite like just like finales to an album. It's gonna sound like I'm being hyperbolic, but it reminds me of like the end of Abbey Road with Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight. Like those 3 just like kind of like go into each other, and it's so it just becomes this like awesome peak, and then it's just done. I don't know, it's so good.
The end of that album is an experience.
Because the whole album is like a journey. Like you're going through this whole. First of all, Danger Mouse produced it.
Maybe his crowning achievement.
Yeah, Danger Mouse is like one of my favorite producers like all time. Like anyone who doesn't know Danger Mouse, look him up. You know Danger Mouse.
Yeah.
Like
things he's done.
yeah, his production is insane. Like he did Gorillaz, he did Gnarls Barkley, Black Keys, he did
Danger Doom.
Danger Doom. Oh yeah, Danger Doom's awesome. Yeah, that's how they got Doom on this album.
Oh yeah.
Too, he's amazing, and you're right. This is probably his like crowning achievement. Like it's just so good.
This is for me probably the peak of where the genres coming together is the most interesting. It's the most dynamic. There's so many songs where it's like, is it a rap track? Is it a rock track? Is it an R&B track? The collaborators, they all feel like they're the perfect moderation of collaboration, where each track they are definitely contributing. They're a core piece of the identity of the song. They never overshadow the project itself. They never become. It's not like, oh well, that's a De La Soul joint feature. But they're also never like feel like they're tacked on.
Yeah, that is true. Like you could tell that he really likes to work with his collaborators, because I'm really big into like rap and hip hop music, and I could tell when an artist just gives a beat to some random rapper and is just like, hey, just hop on this, and you could just tell like there was no like cohesion there was no like working together. When I could tell when Damon wants an artist to work with him, he wants to work with them. Like he wants to actually discuss and talk about how they want to make a track together. And there's certain ones that like you think wouldn't work, like the Booty Brown one, the Dirty Harry. Yeah. It's crazy that they're able to get a rap verse in there, and it works so well. It works so good.
It doesn't feel like there's a rap verse coming until like right before you get that.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. We come from the orchestra right into, Booty Brown, and it's like, and it doesn't feel tone deaf or forced. It feels like it's meant to be there.
Yeah. There's a lot of moments like that. It's like November Has Come. You can tell that one, it basically is just like a doom song.
Yeah.
And Damon's just like, I'm just gonna sing some nonsense for this chorus. And it works so good though. Like it's so good.
so many fan favorite tracks come off here. Like, obviously the big hits are, Dare and Feel Good Inc.
Yeah.
But so many fan favorite tracks are off this one.
Yeah. Kids with Guns is a big one.
Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry.
November's Come is
November's
Black
Come.
Eagle.
Used to not care for, and I'm sure you're gonna guess. White Light. Yeah.
I hated it through high school.
Yes, but now I gone back and I get what he was going for. It's definitely like a weird. I like it now. I don't know. My music taste probably just changed. Like, I listen to like Death Grips now.
Yeah.
So like that's just cool to me. Like, now I listen to Death Grips, 100 Gax, and Fentanyl. So like, I love weird crap like that.
Yeah, that was one for me. So I remember being like a teenager and be like, it's dumb. It's just saying the words white light over and over again. It's like, anybody can do that. And it's just a guy going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's dumb. I'm like, where's the artistry? And now now I'm like, no, I get it.
Yeah. Oh, it bangs. Honestly, a teenager, like, this was like all I listened to was this album.
This was probably amongst my most listened to albums of all time.
Yeah.
Do we want to mention that there'll never be a good live performance of Dare?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I argue they're all great. They're all great
in their own way.
Yeah. That, if anyone has not seen Dare live, watch.
Put it up. Don't worry. We'll put up snippets.
Please, yeah, because it is an experience that everyone should. They need to have for themselves. That's
Look, it's coming up. It's coming up. It's Dare.
Lord, hear me now.
Ready?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
B.
C.
All right.
It was gonna be B. It's sliding that one so close. It's like, remember, for me, that puts it the same level as Gorillaz 2001. I still think it's very good.
Yeah.
It's just like, can I justify putting it like that hair out?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Now,
I'm writing that line, B minus, C plus.
Yeah.
But we're gonna break it down.
Honestly, that's probably where I would be. Actually, is like
If
3
we're gonna
minus.
plus minus.
Yes. Like I didn't want to give it a C because the C for me is like, there's good stuff on here. Will I listen to it regularly? I don't know. Yeah. If you're going lower than that, it's like, I'm never listening to this. But what I wanted to ask, did you like include all the remixes and stuff?
I listened to them all, and that is the problem. Is it's a 2-disc album.
Yeah.
I think disc 2 definitely drags the experience down.
Yeah, because if you don't count disc 2,
I think that puts it at B.
yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. And I guess that's not the right way of doing it.
Yeah, because it's not they're not released as, it's not like D-sides deluxe.
Yeah.
Here's D-sides.
Yeah. Because for me, I never listened to the part 2. I only listened to the first. Yeah. There's a few songs on here. Well, first of all, People is just a demo for Dare.
And it's good.
It is cool though. Like, it's interesting to see how it evolved. You can tell it's not finished, but it's interesting. The Don't Get Lost in Heaven demo, that is like straight up like a reggae version of Don't Get Lost in Heaven. It is not as good, but it's still interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, Stop the Dams is like a top tier Gorillaz song.
It's very good. I love Stop the Dams.
I love Stop the Dams. I wish that like we got like a fully realized, because you could tell that's even still early.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, is that's where I also feel bad. It feels wrong ranking these albums in some ways, because that's the reality, but it's also like, well, if we're gonna bundle them, we gotta we can't curve it too much. What else do I like? Spitting Out the Demons, Murdoch is God.
Yep. We Are Happy Landfill.
Land Phase, very good. Boomerang's pretty good.
They're all pretty decent. But the thing is though, like what you're saying is they're all pretty good.
They need like 10%. They usually finish.
Yeah.
Let's say that Danger Mouse gets bored and goes, I'm gonna remaster D-sides, and just like finished them. Just got like some collaborators to, you know, put some more tracks
Yeah.
in there? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
Like,
I think
easy,
it
yeah,
could. Like,
yeah.
like you could tell they were cooking during this era.
Yeah.
Like the fact that these are like, because
This is the fat that got
Yeah.
trimmed from Demon Days.
Yeah.
And it's still incredible.
Yeah, like I couldn't make any of these. Like there's not even a close.
I know, you know, Plastic Beach is its own thing, but it sucks that they weren't given, you know, given the love and polished up, and instead we get, you know, D-sides. Where I think D-sides has a great future is I was listening to it and I was like, man, this is like, a lot of these are just like lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax to.
Yeah.
It's very much like chill, like, all right, I'm just kind of
Yeah.
because they're all lyrically so stripped back.
Yeah,
At the time they have like, you know, Murdoch is God has got like 8 words in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the whole people, they're all very so stripped back that is, you know, they're almost instrumental tracks.
Yeah. Well, because
Some of them are.
yeah, and you have to think I mean, these are such early. Some of these have to be early demos.
Yeah.
It is interesting that we even got these. Like the fact that we have people to see how it evolved into Dare, because Dare is a completely different track, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like it's there. Like you could. Yeah, that was an accident. It's like it's there. Yeah, it's there. Like you could see where it evolved. I mean, I'm glad we have these sides, to be honest, because there are good. It's cool, and it's worth a listen. I think, especially if you're a Gorillaz fan.
Certainly.
There's nothing on there that's going to be a hit or any, obviously, but
Yeah.
I do think you're onto something. Like I could see a few of those songs like leaking into like that lo-fi beat territory.
To
Yeah.
Study. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so next is
Plastic Beach.
big one.
This is big. 3, 2, 1.
One. S.
Hey.
All right, that's fair. I know I have 2 S's, but I felt like I had to.
That's
'cause-
completely fair.
And it's funny, if you asked me like 10 years ago when it first came out, it's not that I was disappointed in it. I think because it's just so different,
Yes.
you know? I mean, because Demon Days, I mean, it's like one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, you're listening to that, and then the first, I still remember the first time they dropped the music video for Stylo.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not that I didn't get it, but I was like, it's kind of not what I wanted, or at the time. Now, Stylo is one of my favorite songs by the Gorillaz.
That's very good.
Like they cooked with it. Like and this album I feel like could come out today, and people would be like, this rocks.
Yeah, all the hip hop elements in this feel very timeless.
Yes.
Like, you know, he wasn't leaning into any particular, like, I gotta stay with it. Like, you think about the era that it came out, it was like peak of auto-tune rap.
Yeah.
And not a hint of that.
No, not at all. Literally.
It's definitely much more hip hop heavy than
Mhm.
the first 2 albums, but still blended in cool, interesting ways.
Yes.
All the hip hop elements, again, everyone's doing their own thing.
Mhm.
They each sound unique.
Yeah.
But also, again, like I said, kind of timeless. Like, it's not like, I think if if this album never happened and it got released today, you wouldn't feel like, oh, that sounds like 2010.
Yeah.
or
No, you wouldn't.
10 rap.
You wouldn't at all think that. I mean, even like he brought on Snoop Dogg, and you have to think, when you think of Snoop Dogg, you're probably thinking a certain style, but Welcome to the World of Plastic Beach is like nothing he's ever done.
Yeah.
And it works so well for him though. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like if you showed a Snoop Dogg fan that, they'd be like, whoa, this is like way different, you know? It's such a weird, like it almost
Flow's great on
it is so cool. Like it almost feels like he's not singing to it a bit, but you know what I mean? He has those parts where it's like, just like math, like stuff like that, or I don't know.
I'd be popping, knocking, liquor, rocking in the bubble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's so cool. It works so well for that track.
You know, there's clearly a lot of thought put
Mhm.
into the stacking of all the songs. You know, great flow and transition between them. Like, that's an album. Like, Welcome to the World of Plastic Beach is definitely an album track.
Yeah.
It's great as part of the experience.
Yeah.
On its own, there's cool parts, but I'm not
Correct.
listening to it
Well, I think that's why I like the Gorillaz so much, though, is like they do structure their albums
as album.
as albums. Like they want you, like Damon wants
Some
you.
more than others.
Yeah. Now, what do you think of some of like the weirder ones? Like, I love Some Kind of Nature with Lou Reed.
Kind of Nature.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to this album, Some Kind of Nature is like it's just like the perfect little treat because I always forget it's coming until we get there. And I'm like,
It's so good. I love, like, he's really good at doing those like spoken word type songs because The Fire Coming Out of the Monkey's Head, similar kind of vibes, you know, where it just works so well. Obviously, Stylo, Bobby Womack kills that track. Like, he had to have like been having like almost a heart attack the way he was yelling.
So the legend I heard, what I read was that Bobby Womack was, you know, asked to come on. He was like, I don't know what a Gorillaz is. I don't really think I want to do that. You know, but thanks. And then he was talking to his grandkids and they were like, yo, Gorillaz are sick, you know, do it. He shows up to like record and they're like, he's like, so what am I doing? And he's like, oh, we're just gonna play some, you know, just some music. Just sing whatever you feel.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's like, just sing whatever you're feeling today. Just sing everything. And he sang for like 90 minutes and then like went into diabetic shock.
Oh my God.
It's like the legend. I don't know how true it is, but like it feels like it.
Yeah.
Those high notes and the belting.
It's so cool. It's like, holy cow, this song is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
He makes the track.
And Mos Def is there too.
Yeah.
I mean,
He does a quick, cool little verse.
yeah, he's fine.
It is interesting because the Gorillaz basically gave De La Soul, who are legends in their own right, like a
new crowd.
Yeah, it's awesome. And when I saw Damon solo, they came out and they did Feel Good Inc. What's funny is I'm not trying to brag, I swear to God. When I saw Damon solo, he did the Gorillaz songs that he didn't do when I saw the Gorillaz. Like when I saw Gorillaz,
lucky.
yes, like he didn't do Feel Good Inc. when I saw the Gorillaz. But I got to see De La Soul come out for the Damon Albarn show. So I was like, okay.
Were they on the billing at all?
No, they just showed up. And then,
were they at the festival otherwise?
No, I'm telling you, it was like the luckiest thing ever because he also brought out Del the Funky Homo Sapien, who at that time had only performed twice with the Gorillaz.
That's crazy.
I was like, what the heck? Like I thought I was in like, it was basically a secret Gorillaz concert.
Yeah.
And like I said, if he billed himself as the Gorillaz, he would have been headlining like 11 o'clock at night. Instead it was like 3 in the afternoon. Like, just like a random crowd of people like me who were like, I know who Damon Albarn is, you know? Yeah, it was sick. Anyway, I love this song. Supermass Jellyfish, pretty sweet. What is your favorite track on this? Because I have one.
Okay, favorite track. Gun to my head. I guess I'll go Melancholy Hill.
Okay. That's I mean, I feel like most people would say that.
That's like a safe pick. I was also thinking Rhinestone Eyes.
See, for me, it's Empire Ant.
Empire Ants is great. I love it.
I don't know if you ever heard that while you're stoned. I haven't smoked in a long time, but I do recall listening to that track very high and as an experience. Because once that beat switch up, it feels like you're like floating. It's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, have I ever told you my to binge story?
No.
Okay. I was in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I had just narrowly survived a Bills-Miami football game.
Oh, okay.
Before the game, I didn't want to pay for drinks when I got into the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So I crushed 9.5 ABV beers in the parking lot.
Okay.
I heard my dad, I told him I'd buy him a beer, so I guess I have to buy one more beer, fine. Like the big tall boy, 24.
Of course, yeah.
And then drinks kept showing up in front of me. I wasn't buying them. I missed a Rick Ross concert in the middle of the game. It was bad. So I'm in the backyard of our Airbnb being sick by myself all night. So sun is coming up and I'm like fading in and out of consciousness, listening to binge on a loop, throwing up behind a shed.
That's amazing.
So that's the opposite of
that's like the dark version of my tale. Like, oh yes, when I'm high, it's fun, it's so incredible.
To binge is just tucking me in into my life.
Oh no.
I still love the song though. It's still great.
No, it's still good. That's good. I didn't ruin it for you. So if I had to pick a worst track,
Oh, worst track.
and this is kind of like White Light for me,
No.
where I really didn't like a track years ago, but now I get it, and it's Sweepstakes.
Sweepstakes. I hated it when I.
Yeah, I think because it doesn't feel like it should work, but once it starts kicking in, it's like, this is sick. Where it's just dun, 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 dun. Like, I would love to have seen that live, because I imagine it would have been awesome.
I remember like his voice on we'd say Sweepstakes.
Yeah, Sweepstakes.
I was like, yeah, there's not bad on here.
No, there's not a bad.
There's lesser, but there's not bad. Cloud Unknown's good, but like Bobby Womack's so much, like, he sets the bar for himself too high with Step. When we come back to Bobby for like the outro,
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a letdown, especially the outro of Demon Days is so incredible.
Feel that I'm haunted by all the bills.
3, 2, 1. F. Okay.
Fair.
Yeah, it's not great. I say F because I had to pick an F. I would probably give it a D because there's some interesting stuff.
Briefly explain how The Fall came to be for
Yeah.
people that don't know. It's basically just Damon Albarn jamming out in his iPad in his hotel rooms.
Yep, that's literally what it is.
And it shows.
Yeah. It honestly, like, literally all it is just him every tour stop making some weird song.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff. Like, the first few tracks are interesting. Like,
I mean, Revolving Doors and Low Bank Plastic Bags are good.
Yeah.
I enjoy them. I might even say they're great.
Yeah.
But the rest of the album is just kind of,
Yeah.
it's just there.
I like Hillbilly Man. That one's kind of fun.
Billy Man's fun.
But yeah, most of these, like, I don't even, like, Amarillo, I guess, is kind of a, yeah.
The songs don't feel finished. I think there is life for these songs in similar vein where I thought like D-sides could have like background listening music. I think a lot of the lesser tracks on this album have that potential. Like, none of them are offensive.
No.
I don't listen to any of them and go, which is probably the only reason it's not an F.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had to pick an F. That was our thing. That's gonna go for me and the thing is, like, I mean, I love Gorillaz. This is the one I do not touch. Like, I don't ever go back to it. Like, even knowing there's a couple like fun songs on there, I don't. It's only worth listening to really if you're like a big Gorillaz fan and you just want to check it out.
Yeah.
But if you're not into the Gorillaz at all, there's no reason to check it out, in my opinion. Like,
if you've listened to Gorillaz hits and you don't like them, definitely don't listen.
definitely don't. Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, I mean, there are Gorillaz fans who call this like their best one, like their favorite one.
I do wonder, like, I want to talk to those people.
I do too, because I've literally like seen people on like the Gorillaz subreddit be like, "Oh, The Fall's like my favorite." Like, all right. I mean, I don't get it personally. Yeah, like, to me, it's like such a forgettable.
It's just there.
If it wasn't called Gorillaz, I don't think people would care about it.
If you love The Fall, tell us why you love The Fall.
Honestly, yes.
I don't get it. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Yeah. I would actually love to know why people like this, because to me, it's just never been a thing. So, never been a thing I would go to. Yeah.
And wonder why. I drove the key. I drove the
Humanz. This is also a controversial album.
Yeah, I was gonna say. All right,
3,
2, 1, B. D?
I'm on the cusp of C and D.
Okay, so
I had a feeling you'd rank this one fairly high.
this has a lot of people I really like on it. I understand not the hatred, but like.
I don't know. I will say I think hatred is definitely.
Well, when it first came out, people like.
I did not like it when it came out.
Okay,
I was a hater
because it took 7 years in between Plastic Beach and this, and I think people were expecting another Plastic Beach, which is funny because I think all their albums are kind of its own thing, you know. Big Boy has an album, Big Boy from Outkast. Vicious Lies and Dangerous Rumors. He pretty much has like the Avengers of
rap.
No, of like Pitchfork Hottest of 2012 on there. Like he had Phanogram on there, A Little Dragon, A$AP Rocky, like when he first came out. Like it was like a bunch of people who like to me were like, oh, these are like all like artists I'm really into. So I guess when Humanz came out, I was like to this day, I'm a huge Danny Brown fan.
Yeah.
And when I saw he was on the track list, I was like, damn, Humanz gonna be cooking with this. Like for me, I got like really excited.
Yeah.
There's only like 2 tracks to this day where I decide to skip or not, and that's Carnival and Sex Murder Party.
I actually like both of them.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, it's like 50-50. And when I saw them live, Sex Murder Party was the hype shit I've ever seen.
That's what I've heard. That live, it's incredible.
It is. It is like another. It's like yeah. Like live, it was incredible. I feel like he actually had an idea for this album. Like obviously he hated Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
you know, that's the whole crux of this album. Basically, was he hates Donald Trump, and he's like, I'm going to make an album about how I don't like Donald Trump, and our world is screwed.
Yeah.
Like, it starts out awesome. It has a Vince Staples track with Ascension. That song's one of my. I think
That
that's
was really good.
I think that's my top track, kinda.
Might be. I mean, it probably is. I
Um,
think it probably has to be.
yeah, it's so good. Strobe Light's fun. Strobe Light, though, I will say, doesn't feel like. Kind of feels like a Gorillaz song, but it feels.
I think Strobe Light almost might feel more Gorillaz than the rest of the album, but also doesn't feel as much like it fits with the rest.
Yeah,
of the
I think that's what it is. It's like.
It's definitely one of the more standout songs on here. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's really like the only like electronic dance track.
It's like a straight up house track.
Yeah.
Well, the producer on this one was a house producer, so I
Okay.
can understand why that one exists. It probably just fits my likes.
Yeah.
I think that's why for me,
I thought it would be.
I listened to it and I was like, this was awesome. But I could understand, I know a big thing, people did not like that there were so many features, but there's always been features on Gorillaz albums, so it didn't really make sense to me.
I think the flip on this is that this album, the features take over.
Sure.
The features feel like the focus of all the songs.
Fair enough.
Damon feels out of place on his own album.
Sure.
Songs where he sings are typically the lesser songs on the album. I mean,
This is true. Like, Hallelujah Money isn't even his song.
it feels like he wanted to put together a hip hop collab, talk about how messed up the world is,
Yeah.
and called it Gorillaz.
Yeah.
It needs to be called. I think it would have been better received if he didn't call it Gorillaz.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad it is a Gorillaz album personally, because it got more, it got more viewed and more noticed. For my taste, this is a great album. But I do understand the criticism, like what you just said, where there's tracks where it doesn't feel like he's even part of it. Where, yeah, obviously he is.
Yeah, he's definitely doing things, but we're not hearing him. Sometimes when his voice comes in, it feels forced.
I really like We Got the Power.
I will say, We Got the Power is the best outro since Demon.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Well, I think that's kind of what We Got the Power was for, is like an ending to be like, we still,
Yeah, hey, we can do stuff.
we can set the course back.
Quit being haters and
Yeah,
get together. I really love Let Me Out.
Let Me Out's great.
Let Me Out is, besides like a couple of the single tracks, is definitely the one I took from it was.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
It feels like, like Sesame Street. Have you ever watched Sesame
Yes, they
Street?
get the craziest people.
Yeah, and they're all so excited to be on Sesame Street. I think that's what the Gorillaz is. Like,
It's musical Sesame Street.
yes. Like, I think people are like, yeah, I want to be on Gorillaz. Hell yeah, that sounds awesome. Like, yeah, I think that's really what it is.
They both had Jack Black.
Yes, that's true. All the Gorillaz albums sound pretty different, yet when you hear it, you're like, that's Gorillaz. Does that make sense?
This is one of the most standout. Is like, is this Gorillaz?
Yeah.
There is a certain sloppiness to it that I don't really know how to qualify.
And I agree, and that's why, like, it's not an A. It's definitely not.
Yeah.
Because it's not, because A, if you're like A, for me, you're like, I'm listening to like a lot. And then S is like the best. But I think a B is solid for me. Like, it is a good album. I like it. I will listen to it like once or twice a year, and I'll be like, oh, I do still like this album a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not a favorite. The now.
All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1, B. Oh, is that our first one that we've besides Demon Days?
Yes, that was the first one where we've just been.
Yeah.
I like all the songs.
Me too.
The
Yeah.
only reason it's not higher, all the songs are kind of just vibes.
Yes. That is exactly how I was thinking when I was listening to because I think you did the same as me. I just re-listened to all the albums.
Yeah,
I completely agree. It's a good album, but it's just kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that stands out where you're like, in like 10 years from now, no one's gonna be like, when the Now dropped,
yeah,
everything changed. Yeah.
it's almost easy listening in a completely weird way.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a song on there where I go, ugh.
No, none. They're all good.
Yeah, I love listening to all of them. There's not the depth that
Mhm.
the earlier albums had.
What are your favorite songs? For me, it's probably Trans.
Trans is humor.
Trans rules.
Really, the first half of the album.
Yeah. I love Lake Zurich too. That's kind of like a weird one. It's that instrumental one. Yeah, they're all pretty good. Honestly, I'm looking at the track list. Like, I will say, like, the last half is sort of like, they're not forgettable, but
Lesser, yeah.
it's lesser. It starts singers.
Guy is pretty good.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. This is a good album. It's vibey. You know, like any Gorillaz fan will like it.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna like, I don't know how many people are gonna like find this album and be like, I gotta go look up every other Gorillaz album.
Yeah, this is definitely not one I would never tell someone to start here.
No.
I almost wish this album came out like this was like a 2021 album. Like, we should have had it in 2021 instead of 2019.
Yeah.
Because that's what we need. We needed like
Just good vibes.
Just good
Yeah,
vibes.
I agree. That is so true. Yeah, I know. It's a good album though, but
I mean, I think he really kind of heard the criticisms.
He did, yeah.
For Humanz, and did everything the opposite.
that is literally what this was, I think. Because this came out the next year. Yeah, he literally like heard all the criticism and was like, all right, I'll give you guys what you want. This is just gonna be like mostly me.
It's gonna be mostly me. It's
Yeah.
gonna be chill. Alt
Yeah.
electronic vibe.
I do think that it almost hurts it a little because he was
He just
trying so hard to course correct.
He's not cooking. Yeah, he's not cooking on here.
Yeah,
It just like yeah.
it's good. Yeah. I feel like
Like, there's nothing I can knock about it other than
No.
playing it safe,
yeah.
which is like, can I put it lower than a B for playing it safe and not experimenting? Like, no.
Yeah.
Three,
Two,
two.
1, A. B? Okay.
This is B, maybe A.
Okay.
This was
That is like a B plus-ish.
B plus. Yeah, we're gonna break it down into plus minus. This would be a B plus.
Okay.
Maybe an A minus even.
Yeah.
I really love the, exploring the genre spaces, as I've mentioned a million times
Mhm.
over. And this album is the most return to form of that.
Well, what's great about this album too is you could tell. Now I'm giving it I gave it an A, and we were talking more about keeping like a cohesion to albums. This one doesn't have that.
at all.
Because all he did was he was just like, I'm gonna make every song a single. That was the plan.
Yeah.
Like, what if every song was just a banger? Like, all these songs could just be like the lead single, pretty much. Except for maybe like
There's a couple.
Dead Butterflies, probably not. But most of these could be a single, and a lot of them were. Like, he would release a video for all of them. Yeah. And I think it works really well. I still remember the first. It sucks. Slow Tie's kind of a questionable guy, but Momentary Bliss is Momentary Bliss is like a 10 out of 10 song for me.
And unfortunately, they released it first.
I know.
It set the bar too high.
I know. I will agree, because that is probably the best. I think that's what I put as my best track. Yeah, it is.
If I tried to put another one ahead of it, I think I would be being a contrarian.
Well, yeah.
Just saying it to like argue it.
Yeah.
I think it has to be. Like,
Yeah. It's like this perfect like punk rap, like, and that's like Slow Tie. He has a few good songs. Like, he has that. He's like a rapper that should have been in a punk band.
Like Friday the 13th and Dead Butterflies are probably the low.
Though that is the low point.
Yeah.
And I like those songs, but that is the low point.
That's kind of what keeps it from going A for me.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it is like very intentionally a bunch of singles.
Yes.
is awesome, but it also kind of damages it, like,
Sure.
is a start to finish listening experience.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, for me, I guess it's just, it hits that itch, like, so I was listening to this one again. I was like, damn, there's not really a skip. Like,
No,
even, you know.
the closest would be like 13th.
Yeah.
13th.
That would be the closest, yeah.
Yeah. Momentary Bliss being at the end of the album when you actually listen to the album
Yeah.
is a good choice.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you can't start there or even have that in the middle because it's just too hype. You
It
can't follow-
gotta end. Yeah, I completely agree.
Like, if you started there and then went into what's first, Strange Times.
Yeah, no. Strange Times is a good, like, opening track. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
And that was one I didn't get at first. It's fun. This always happens with Gorillaz. Damon is like the epitome of, like, he knows what you need. It may not be what you want. Yeah.
You'll get there.
Yeah. Because that was one where, and like after a while, it's like, okay, no, this slaps. Like, it does. Once it starts like kicking in, where the beat starts dropping and stuff with Robert Smith just singing, you're like, this is incredible.
All right.
Yeah, well, you still got it, Damon. Thank you. But yeah, I think this is like top tier for me. I mean, it'd be still good for you. I mean,
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm apparently a hater.
It did rank pretty highly when it came out, right? Like, I think a lot of people, like Gorillaz fans like me and you, were like, this is pretty return to form. Like,
Yeah, I think there are points where I would have put this at A. Also, disc 2 is awful.
oh, the bonus tracks?
The bonus tracks
Yeah.
are awful.
Yeah.
I accidentally listened to the deluxe edition and I hadn't heard those tracks since they first dropped.
Yeah.
And I listened to them once because it was just like he was song machining, so they would just kind of pop up a week at a time. And it was just like, oh, these are okay, I guess. If you listen to the deluxe edition, it feels like you hit a wall after Momentary Bliss.
Yeah, that's the thing. Momentary Bliss is such a good end, and then for like some, like, I don't know.
You follow it with Opium during Earth Gang.
You know what sucks is like Earth Gang. I really like Earth Gang. That one.
The collaborators on the second half, they're not bad.
No,
The
yeah.
tracks just
You got Unknown Mortal Orchestra. Like, they just don't.
JPEG Mafia?
Yeah, I love JPEG Mafia. I just feel like these don't work. I'm glad we kind of, because I remember you like texting me. You're like,
I was texting you. I was like, oh man, I listened to the deluxe and I have thoughts.
Yeah. I think that's where we decided, like, yeah, we're not going to include deluxe, like, when we talk about the album.
On Cracker Island it was born.
Cracker Island. 3, 2, 1.
C.
A.
Whoa! Okay. All right.
Don't know why. I really can't justify it, but I don't.
Okay.
I like all the songs.
I just think they're neat.
I know a lot of
be.
people don't like Cracker Island at all.
And I don't hate it, and I do go back to it. Like, some of the songs on there, like Oil's one of my favorite Gorillaz tracks.
Oil's awesome.
Oil's incredible, you know. What makes it like an A for you, I guess?
For me as an album, to get that high,
Yeah.
there has to be nothing I want to skip. You know, no matter how many times I re-listen to it, and I don't have that with any of the songs.
Okay.
Here, I think like the weakest might be the Tired Influence.
That's the worst one.
And it's not bad. It's a little mopey coming, you know, between Oil and Silent Running.
Yeah.
But like Cracker Island, Oil, Silent Running.
Those are incredible.
Awesome.
Those are awesome.
And that's half the album.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Those three are top tier Gorillaz songs.
They're incredible. People that hate on this album, I kind of want to pick their brain up.
Yeah.
Because it's like those three amazing singles.
Yeah. New Gold I like too.
New Gold's great.
Yeah.
My biggest critique of New Gold is it sounds more like Tame Impala than
Definitely.
Gorillaz.
Yes.
But that's
Still
do
good.
I knock it?
Yeah.
Do I knock it down for that?
Yeah. I'm like 50-50 on Tormenta.
I think it's his best attempt to get into like the Latin space.
Yeah.
Like it does better than like Latin Simone or
Sure. Skinny Ape's cool.
Skinny Ape's so fun. I love it. You know,
I'm not that into Possession Island.
Possession is fine. I think it is the weaker Beck track
Mm-hmm.
of the two, but I still think it's really good. I don't think it's, you know, a breathtaking album outro,
Yeah.
but the album feels cohesive. It's a short album. It's 37 minutes.
Yeah, it's very short. Yeah.
I love a short album. Give me an album like Listen to in one sitting. It has like the listenability of the Now Now for me, but with just enough experimentation, just enough album cohesiveness.
Yeah.
The pacing of the album just hits all the right notes for me. Like we come in hot with Cracker Island.
Yeah, Cracker Island is
Thundercat.
awesome. I love that song.
I found Thundercat from this album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is how you found Thundercat? Oh,
I found Thundercat.
that's kind of awesome, to be honest.
Yeah.
I love Thundercat.
Yeah, it's one I was like,
That was one I was excited for because I really like Thundercat.
yeah.
He fits so well on the Gorillaz. I'm surprised they hadn't worked together before, to be honest, because he's like the perfect weird collaborator, you know.
Yeah.
This one got kind of hated on a little bit.
I know people don't like it.
I didn't quite get that.
I saw tier lists. I see a lot of tier lists that put it like below the Fallen.
which is that's
Like-
just wrong. I'm sorry. Like if you're saying that, you're full of yourself. Like there's no shot in hell that's below like. And the thing is, like I've given it a C ranking among other Gorillaz albums.
Yeah.
I'd still give it a high rating. Like I do like this album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for you to be like, yeah, no, this.
But that's kind of what I mean. This is a more Damon forward album, but it still, weaves things in. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I want to know what the average Gorillaz fan is.
I want to know who else they listen to.
Yes, because do you not like Tame Impala? Like, I guess if you don't like Tame, you would be like, I don't like this. I don't know.
And Booty Brown.
Yeah,
Booty Brown's
yeah.
there too.
Yeah, like it's such a cool little track.
And so, obviously, those are just our opinions, and they are universally right, and you should not argue with us.
Correct.
But we would love to see you tell us why you think they're right or wrong in the comments. Let's have a conversation about this. And Alan, while we didn't agree on everything, I think we found a lot of common ground.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I think we did. There was a few that were like, whoa, okay.
And, for anyone who's mad at us for excluding, some of L Barnes' other projects or like a Come Home, I don't think we really need to talk about this because like a Come Home, I don't know. It's just Gorillaz but worse. And
Yeah.
Monkey, F tier, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I forgot about that one. Okay, F tier, yeah. Wow, yeah.